Everybody, this is Jose with Oakland Latinos United, aka Oakland Latinos Unidos, out here with a new Barrio tour for you guys to enjoy. Well, I'm out here in East Contra Costa County in the city of Antioch, in the Yacht Town, the Dirty Waters as they call it. You know what I mean? Kicking back and wanting to do a Barrio tours of Antioch. And there's not very many barrios per se in Antioch, but at least I could show you guys the barrio where one of the most famous rappers from this area to ever come out was from, and that's Woodie. You know what I mean? From East Coco Records. We all know, Woodie's fame from his album Northwest Siding. He did the Northern Exposure albums, and he rapped with a lot of guys like Lil Los and Shadow and various others, you know what I mean? And I just wanted to show you a little bit of the hood where he's from and where that group was from. And this is the Barrio Tours of Antioch. Now, I want to talk a little bit about this area because I want to talk a little bit about my experience with this area. If you look over there, that's Juarez Mexican food. I've been there before. It's pretty good. There's a new market right there called Cielo Market. It's a Mexican store. I think it was a grocery outlet before. And I remember back in the days, there used to be a record store around here, somewhere around here called Rock Bottom Records. And I know that because I used to work here. And I remember going there to buy a couple of Woodie's albums and a couple other rap albums at the time. But I didn't know anything about Antioch back then. And, Gunner's Collective, he actually made a video recently about Antioch, and there was something he said that is kind of true. He said that back in the days before Woodie and all them put Antioch on the map, Antioch wasn't really known to people outside of this area. And it is kind of true because I didn't know anything about Antioch. And most people in Oakland and that side of the bay, like Richmond, Oakland, Frisco, they didn't know too much about it either. And at that time, it wasn't much of a factor. You know what I mean? And, it's not to offend no one or make fun of anyone here. It's just the truth. We didn't know about this town. But once you started having rappers like the Jacka, AWACS, Woodie, and various others, the mob figures, this area started being put on the map that way. You know what I mean? Pittsburgh, Antioch. Now, my first experience with this area is the first time I ever came out here, I came to Pittsburgh, and that was like in 1995. And I went through Railroad Ave over there by West 10th, and also over there by West Boulevard. And I remember back then it used to be hood as hell down there. And Pittsburgh used to be hella hood. And I remember at that time, Antioch was considered like the nice area. And there was a lot of white folks in Antioch back then. There was Chicanos and blacks, but there was a lot of white folks, I remember. And, Antioch was considered more the nice area, and Pittsburgh was considered the hood. But I started working in Antioch in about 2001. And I worked here. I had a really good job out here. They used to pay well. So I used to come all the way from... At the time, I wasn't in Oakland. I had just moved to Vallejo. So I was staying in Vallejo for a little bit. So I used to commute down here every day. And I worked out here for 5 years. From 2001, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Almost 5 years, like 4.5 years. And, I got to know this town. I spent a lot of years here. You know what I mean? Getting to know the area. I met a few folks from here. And also one of my best friends was from Concord, so he showed me around these areas as well. And when I was out here, I remember I started seeing the change happening because the gentrification started happening in Oakland, Richmond, San Francisco, and you started having a lot of black and Raza folks moving out here. And basically, Antioch started slowly becoming the hood because all the folks from Oakland and Frisco and Richmond and whatnot started moving this way. So fast forward to today, Antioch is considered the hood, and now Pittsburgh is more cleaned up than Antioch. So you can see a 20-year difference from when I used to work here. But Antioch is still a pretty cool little town. And I just wanted to show you guys Woodie's hood. We're right down the street from it. I'm kicking back in the shopping center. I was out here today in the 925 because I was at the flea market in Concord with my brother. I was actually selling with them. I had a bunch of stuff I had to get rid of. So that's called Cielo Market. That's new. That used to be a grocery outlet. And like I said, there used to be a place called Rock Bottom Records. So I'm going to take you guys down West 20th or West 20th. You know what I mean? West Doves, West 20th, where Woodie's hood was from. It's right down the street. And I'm going to show you guys his hood. You know, I was out here, so I said, you know what, I'm gonna make a Barrio tours of Woodie's hood. That'd be pretty dope, because a lot of people like Woodie. A lot of people grew up on his music. I like this music, you know what I mean. I still be bumping that Summer Breeze and Don't Be Afraid, and a lot of songs, Dirty Deeds, and many songs that he made, bro. It's unfortunately that he passed away. And yeah, man, that's just the way it goes. We're on West 19th and D Street, right here by the little Mexican store. You know what I mean? But let's see if I can turn right here. So there's a little market right there. It's called Joe's Liquor Market. So this is West 20th Street. So this is the barrio where Woodie was from. Let this guy go. Like I can drive down the hood without a car behind me. So this is West 20th Street. This is Woodie's old barrio. I guess this is probably the hood where they grew up, probably kicking it, probably formed their little clique. But yeah, this is West 20th Street. Jose's Barrio tour of Antioch. You know what I mean? West 20th Street, Woodie's hood. And yeah, man, this is from what I've been told by some people. This is Woodie's old hood. You feel me? But yeah, just wanted to show you guys that. I remember coming down here years ago with somebody down the street. So that's kind of why I knew where it was at. But yeah, man, this is Woodie's hood, West 20th Street. Kind of a short street. Now we turn over here. Not sure what house he grew up in or where he, you know, where they kicked it, but this is the area where they grew up, you know what I mean? And this is probably the areas that he rapped about a lot, you know, so you guys can see. So Barrio tours of Antioch, the Yacht Town, the Dirty Waters, you feel me, whatever you want to call it. But yeah, now we're on, I don't know what street this is. I think this is West, maybe 19th. But yeah, man, you know, this is the barrio. I remember going to that library a long time ago when I worked out here, the Antioch Library, I think. But yeah, man. So yeah, hopefully you guys enjoyed this little video. Just wanted to show you Woodie's old barrio, and just want to show you a little bit of Antioch. Those of you who always been curious about the Yacht, this is Antioch. And like I said, I used to work here a long time ago. So this is D and West 19th Street. There's that little Mexican, I think it's a Mexican store or restaurant or something like that. This is where we started off in. Now we're over here on West 18th Street. And this is the street that Woodie talked about. That's Antioch High down there. And this is the street that Woodie talked about. Bury me on East 18th. This is the street. And I guess the reason he called it that, because you go way down on East 18th, there's a bunch of cemeteries down there. So I'm assuming that's why he called that song "Bury Me on East 18th Street." So yeah, man, right here we're on East 18th and 8th Street. You know what I mean? That's the shopping center where I started out at. You feel me? But yeah, this is Antioch, the Yacht Town Barrio tours. Hopefully you guys enjoyed it. You know what I mean? Hopefully you guys leave a comment, especially if you're from Antioch, or maybe if you grew up around Woodie and all them. You feel me? But yeah, man, just wanted to show you. There's not really a barrio per se in Antioch. You know what I mean? There's a couple of hoods, you know what I mean, like Sycamore and West 20th and a few other little hoods out here. But yeah, I'm not, like I said, I'm not too familiar on the area because I didn't grow up out here. I worked out here for a few years and I got to know Antioch pretty good, but I'm not familiar too much with what hoods is which and what area is which, but I'm a little familiar with it. So yeah, man. So hopefully you guys enjoyed this Barrio tours of Antioch, and yeah, man. Keep subscribing, keep liking my videos. You know, tell your friends about them. You know, leave a comment, tell me what you think. And yeah, man. If you were always curious of where Woodie was from, this was his old barrio, his old hood, his old area. You feel me? But yeah, man. So yeah, Antioch Food Center. That's weird. That used to be a Lucky's. Wow, they closed that Lucky's, huh? That's crazy. That used to be a Lucky's right there. When did they close that? I remember going to that Lucky's back in the days. But yeah, man, they must have recently closed that, because I remember that was a Lucky's about a year ago, because I was out here about a year ago. But yeah, man, I'm going to let you guys go. This is Jose with Oakland Latinos United. Late.